2、3年来这个很难这个具足的一个缘分。那么呢，今天就今年既然具足，所以呢算是我也是跟各位非常有缘，各位也非常有这个福报。今天在我们在这边聚在一起讨论这个有关于一些这个佛法的课程。
Jimen Roger, he said he feels very connected with the people here. Today is a great night, a great opportunity because after 2 or 3 years now he come back to South Africa, and because all the conditions satisfied, that's why we can have this rare opportunity to listen to Dharma and share his he can share his wisdom with us, and he's very happy.
好，那么这一次我跟各位想要开示的部分就是这个有关于这个死亡的部分。
So tonight's teaching, I want to talk about death.
这个因果业力显现的时候，是我们必须要接受的事情。
So due to the cause, the principle of cause and effect, due to our karma, and so we have to accept whatever consequence come out from it.
死亡的时候我们应该做什么？面对死亡的时候，有没有什么方法？
So how can we face our death, and what can we do when we are dying?
其实我们作为人面对死亡的时候，还是有一些有一些方法的，也可以去准备的。
So actually, we do have some methods, we do have some skills to teach us how to face our death.
那么首先，这个我们面对死亡的时候，我们必须要处理好亲人以及财富这些部分。
So when we face our own death, the first important thing is we have to make the right arrangement with the people we love, our relatives, and also with our wealth, our possessions. 如果
这个处理不好亲人跟这些财富的话呢，就会升起这些贪念跟贪着，所以就会这个中阴，甚至于可能会堕入到三恶道。
So without the right arrangement, then there might be the attachment will arise, and this will cause problem in our intermediate stage, which can be the cause us to rebirth in the lower rank.
从佛法的角度讲，最好的方式是将自己的财富，这个做出了尽力的这个供养与这个捐赠。
So from the Dharma perspective, the best way to deal with your possession is to donate them.
为什么这么说呢？因为这个财富这个尽力去供养跟捐赠的话呢，这个往生者他这个死之后这个房子、车子、亲人、朋友、财富都带不走。
So why we say that? Because for the people who is going to die, their houses, their cars, their money, their possessions, none of this they can take them with them when they're dying. So it's good that if we can make donate our wealth.
所以哪怕是一针一线都没办法去带走哪怕是自己所一生所拥有的这个血肉的身体，也是必须在躺在这里给大家看。
Yeah, so when we're dying, we can't take anything with us, even a needle. even a string, and so we have our physical body just lying there and dying. We can't do anything with it.
所以在佛法里面尤其是佛教，人死之后不断的去帮他做一些这些超度之类的这些所有这些这个修法这个功德回向的这个往生者
So in Buddhism we have a lot of practice. We do a lot of ceremony to pray for the deceased and to dedicate the merits for those deceased.
因为死了之后呢，对他真正有帮助的是只有善业所累积的福德资粮之外，其他任何对死者来讲任何没有帮助。
Because for the people who's dying, nothing can benefit them except the good karma generated from the positive actions.
可能甚至于他这一生当中拥有的太多，到了这个死之后，他可能就更放不下，生起执着，给他带来很大的这个痛苦，也有可能。
Because for some people they might have too much money and then when they die they have this clinging to the money and then which can create a lot of pain for them.
所以我们每一个人能够还没有往生之前，还没有面对这个临终之前，能够自己可以做足，然后呢，尽量多做一些这个供养或是捐赠这些，让自己这个下一世面对死亡的时候，就可以这个对自己有帮助，是可以提前准备的。
So it's a good practice for us before we die, and we can make the right arrangements with our physicians, and we can donate the money, we can offer the money to the sanghas, and then this can generate merits which we can benefit in our next life.
如果连这些多做一些供养这些等等没有办法做得非常圆满的话，最起码从这个世间的角度去看的话呢，应该如果有所财富的话呢，不管给自己的亲人，比如给儿子、女儿要给多少最好是事先安排好。
So if you don't want to donate the money, then from the worldly perspective, then maybe it's better that you can have a will in advance to make the right allocation, which is for a son, which is for a daughter, and then make the right arrangement.
如果父母亲死的时候，给儿女的这个财富分配不好的话呢，很多人在讲说，人在天堂然后呢，钱在银行，然后呢，儿女们呢在这个灵堂吵架。
Yeah, because when the parents die, if they don't make the right arrangement to distribute their wealth between the daughter and the sons, and then there's the same thing that the parents they are in the heaven and the money is in the bank, but then the son and the daughter they are fighting at the ceremony, death ceremony.
所以，如果这个人是你自己的话呢，各位有没有什么样的感受？我相信应该有感受很深，因为在这一生当中为了吃一口饭，为了这个家，可能就拼命的一生，牺牲一生那么呢，最后得到的是充满着这些。失望甚至于儿女们活着的时候不见得非常孝顺那么呢死的时候一样还是没有想到你，只会想到你的钱财的时候甚至于互相如果打得很激烈的话那可能你就会死的不是很瞑目。
Yeah, so imagine if that's you, you're dying, and then you work your whole life to make the money for your family, for your kids, but then your kids they're not so nice to you when you're still alive, and they're not so nice to you even when after you die, because they just fight for the money. So how do you feel about that? Then you will feel very disappointed.
所以呢，当时我觉得很多的这些成就者呢，他们了悟一切法的本体，而不是做任何的法，那么呢，这些修行人就是自在的过一生，而且充满着自的瑜伽的一个生活，因为基本上是这样来的。
So in history, there are a lot of great masters or great practitioners because they reach certain realization, they understand the nature of the world, so they don't cling to the world, and they live a very free and simple life. They live a very free, simple, and happy life.
好，那么第二个面对死亡的时候，比如说面对亲人和别人死亡的时候，都是一样的最好不要在往生者的耳边聊天讲话。
Okay, so that's the first point. The second point is we shouldn't chat. We shouldn't conduct any conversation right next to that person.
因为我们人死的时候呢，我们的人的身体本来就是依靠四大组合而成的血肉的身体，所以我们人死的时候呢，四大地水火风从地的精华融入水的精华融入火的精华融入风的精华融入心识，所以眼耳鼻舌身就会慢慢的一个接着一个丧失它的功能。
Because when we are dying, because our body is made of this four elements: the earth, the water, fire, and the wind. And so when we are dying, and these four elements they will start to dissolve one by one. Start from the earth, and then it's the water, then it's fire, then it's the wind, and then eventually the consciousness will also come out of the body. And so all our sense faculties, we will start to lose our sense faculties.
非常简单来讲的话呢，这个是我们像人，我们年轻的时候眼视耳视比较眼睛耳力都非常好。可是呢，一旦你年纪慢慢的增长的时候呢，那你的眼力、耳力都慢慢的退化所以呢，这个都是一样的道理。
Yeah, because when we are young, we have the good eyesight and we can hear well. But then when we are getting old, our eyes, our hearing, all these abilities started to deteriorate.
所以我们人往生的时候，死者的耳边为什么不能聊天？然后呢，原因是因为他的耳力退化，所以呢，即便你在他的床边然后跟他讲话，可是他认为你好像很远很远的地方。和他讲话，所以呢，因此他就会觉得自己听不到声音，所以呢，他就非常的专注这个声音
So the reason why we shouldn't chat to the people who is dying right to their ear, because when people they are dying, the ability to hear is also diminishing. So even you talk to the people who is dying right to his ears, but to the people who is dying, he feels this sound from a very distant place, and then he struggles to hear this voice, this sound. So
以呢，这个时候呢，他就非常的认真听你 听你的声音。所以这个时候呢，这个对这个死者尽量甜言蜜语的话然后呢，如果比如说亲人说你怎么可以走呢？我舍不得你走，怎么样等等等这些让他升起贪着的这些言语是对他是影响。然后呢，在他旁边哭哭啼啼，或是在他旁边，他发现他的儿女们根本就他的死亡是不当一回事，甚至于如果骂他说你房子没有拨付给我，你的银行的存折还没有汇给我等等的话，他有兴起嗔念。
Yeah. So they will struggle to hear the sound, and then if you, for example, if their daughter and son they start talking about something like how much money you left for us, and then something like this, or maybe they cry. And all of this will actually have a very negative impact on the people who is dying, because then they realize, okay, my kids, they don't care about my death, they only care about the figure in my bank account, they only care about the ownership of my properties, and then they will kind of this will give rise to aversion in the people who is dying.
所以在这个佛法里面讲得很清楚，人死的时候不管是另一半，或者是对于亲人，不可以跟他讲一些你怎么可以死舍不得的这些言语，甚至于哭这样子的话，他就会升起贪着，让他堕落二轨道。那么呢，如果让他生气比如说为了财产争吵或是什么等等，或是让他升起仇恨的心的话呢，就会让他堕落地狱。所以呢，佛法的角度来讲，人死的时候呢，耳边只能只能念经或是念咒语。那么呢，最好的来讲的话呢，就是帮他修破案这些之类，就是主要是导引让他解脱，这是最好的方法。
So it's very important when people are dying and their relatives, they can't say anything like, oh, why you're dying, why you're leaving me alone here, because then this will make the people who is dying, they don't want to die, they want to they cling to the people and the world here, and this will cause rebirth maybe in the hungry ghost realm. And if when the people are dying and then they keep trying to say something made them angry, especially to talk about things related to the wealth, and because this angriness arises in the people who is dying and can cause the rebirth in the hell realm. So in the Buddhism practice, the best practice for the people who is dying is we do a lot of chanting. We chant the sutras, we chant the mantras, we also practice the pova.
所以呢，这些都在藏传佛教的角度或是整个佛教的角度来讲，这些都非常的要注意的地方
So the aforementioned points, they are all the important points from the perspective of the Buddhism or the Tibetan Buddhism.
还有，当我们人死亡的时候，身边的人尽量都要去去摸死者的身体，这是非常重要的。
And also, don't touch the dead people's body. This is also very important.
因为人死之后呢，基本上他自己是没有办法确定自己死亡的，尤其是3天之内。
Because after people they die, they don't know they already died, and especially within the first 3 days after death.
人死的时候呢，基本上他自己就像自己肾睡一样的。虽然他自己死之后呢，他各种各样的方式， 这个证明自己到底有没有死亡。比如说他跟亲人这个想要聊天，可是呢亲人们不跟他聊天，或是他自己的这些曾经用过的这些这个餐具这个他的位置等等如果假如有人坐或是有人用，或是他的碗筷或是他的饭这个没有这些等等的时候呢，他自己就会越来越伤心难过，就觉得自己确实是已经死亡了。
So after people die, they don't know they actually died, but then slowly they will try to use all kinds of methods to identify, okay, I'm already dead. For example, they will try to talk to their relatives, but then no one, pay attention to them because he's no longer there. And then sometimes he will also, for example, the bowl which he or she used to use, and then he or she then sees someone else is using his bowls or sitting at his seat. Then slowly he starts to realize that he actually died.
所以在这个人死之后呢，我们这个一开始很多这些这个上师们就告诉家人说，这个死者的这个尸体不可以动，因为这个他会这个时候呢非常的在意这个在意有人搬动他的尸体或是这个有人摸他的这个尸体的时候呢，他有可能会要么就是高兴，要么就不高兴，所以呢，这个都是会让他造成这个堕落这个三恶道的一个原因。所以呢，因此在这个尤其是藏传佛教，就是必须要先修完佛瓦这个人的一世完全这个离开这个血肉的身体之后呢，才可以帮他洗澡、穿衣服等等，是这么来的。
So a lot of the guru or the teachers, they will tell their disciples that if someone dies in the family, please don't touch the body. And because when people die, they actually aware and they very care about whether people are touching this body or not. They can be angry or they can be happy, but either way, this can be dangerous because this can be the cause for the rebirth in the three lower rank. So especially in the Tibetan Buddhism, we emphasize that the guru will first practice the pova, and after finishing the pova, then make sure the consciousness of the dead people already leaves the body completely. Then they can start, clean up the dead people's body and put on clothes, something like that.
所以简单来讲，他自己就可能就这个非常的紧张，应该也说非常的消极，然后呢，这个他自己的这个血肉的身体里面进进出出，非常的忙，就好比像我们学着活着的时候，我们烦恼非常的出众，一下子想那个，一下子想那个，这个东想西想。一样的道理那么呢，而且其实我们自己这个烦恼很重你这边放不下，那边放不下，那边生气，这边生气，这边看不顺眼，那边看不顺眼的时候，就非常的着急，其实是一样的一个道理。
So it's the same when we are alive. For example, when we are alive, we have a lot of afflictions and we have a lot of thoughts, sometimes this thought, sometimes that thought, and then we carry the anxiety inside us. It's the same for the people who is also dying. They also carry the intense anxiety, and so that's why we have to be careful.
好，那么呢，任何一个人只要有生，那就一定要面对死亡，而死亡是必然的。
So everyone, when we have our birth, and then we are definitely going to have our death. death is always associated with birth.
而死亡是必然的，是我们必须要面对的事情，是没有任何人可以逃脱的，这是人生的一个注定。
So death is a certainty itself, and everyone has to face death, and we can't avoid death in any way.
修习非常高的修习大圆满这些这个上师他的座下即便有这个信徒弟子这个上万个弟子，或甚至于十几万的弟子，他也是必须要面对这个死亡。
So even for some highly realized masters from the great profession lineage, that even those great masters, they have disciples, more than 10,000 or even few hundred thousand disciples, but even then they have to face death as well.
一个国王他是一个国家的王，所以呢他下面有这个人民这个不管是千千万万的老百姓他实现到了死亡，他还是必须要面对的，也是逃脱不了。
So the same applies to even a king. A king, he can has like a big kingdom with thousands of people. And then the king also has to face death.
一个将军或者元帅，他的下面有100万大军这种的强大的军队这样的一个元帅也好，或是将军，他也是需要面对死亡的。
So also like a general who runs like an army of millions of people, and this general, he also has to face death.
或是一个非常有钱的商人那么呢他这个非常有钱全世界的一个首富他也是这个没有办法拿钱去这个不用面对死亡，所以呢还是要这个对这个有钱人还是要面对死亡。
So even the richest businessman in the world, like the top number one richest man, and he cannot, use money to try to avoid his death.
所以呢，不管修行高的，或是有权力的或是有钱人，从50几年到现在，没有一个人因为修行高，因为有权利，因为有钱，所以呢他就这个不必这个面对这个死亡并没有任何一个人是可以这样子。
So from the beginner's time, and all the practitioners, all the people with power, all the people with money, they all have to face death. We have never heard about any case that people who is a great master and then he can avoid death, and also someone who is very powerful, he can avoid death with his power, or someone very very rich and he can avoid death with his money.
人有生老病死，生老病死是自然的规律，这是任何一个人必须要面对的事情。
So this is a universal rule, a natural universal rule that for human we will have the birth, the old age, and the sickness, and then the death.
不管有钱人、没有钱的人、修行人、没有修行的人，必须要面对。
So regardless whether you have money or not, whether you are a practitioner or not,
有生就一定有一定会有老一定会有病，一定会有死亡。
When there's a birth, then there will be an aging. And when there's aging, and the aging will be also associated with this sickness, and then when also at the end, everyone will die.
那么这个就是我们这个烦恼的因成熟的这个果报。
So this is actually the result from our affliction.
所以六道轮回的众生每一道他所受的，譬如人世间生老病死三大苦、八分之苦，总共有11个苦，这些都是果，所以呢，任何一个人都会遇到的事情。
So all the sentient beings in the samsara, in the 6 realms, they all have their specific type of suffering. So, for example, for our human, we have the 3 main type of suffering. Then we also have the other 8 branch type of suffering. Altogether, it's like 11 type of suffering.
除了人人生有生老病死，其他所有的众生也都是一样的。
So it's also the same for other beings.
任何一个众生，哪怕是地上的蚂蚁、蟑螂等等，都是一样。
So even for the little ant on the ground, even for a little crocodile in our kitchen, they also have to face death.
这代表了所有一切法本来的性，法的相是不常法。
So this actually represents the nature of the Dharma.
所有一切法，它的本来只是一个显性而已。
So all the Dharma, all the phenomena, they are just appearance.
我们所看到的显性的这个法，本来它在存在上就是会变成没有的，它是会变成无常。法的真谛就是这个样子。
So all the appearance, all the phenomena, they are changing, they are impermanent, and this is the nature of it.
所以所有一切万法都是依靠因缘而来的。
So all the phenomena, they are dependent arising.
好，所以我们在学习如何这个观待死亡之前，我们必须要承认生老病死的存在。
So before we can go deeper to discuss death, we must face this. We have the birth, we have the aging, we have the sickness, we have the death.
而且不承认也没有用，因为我们一定会死，这是一个现实。
It's useless. Even we try to deny death because it's a fact and we can't deny it. 释迦牟尼2500年开始传法。So 2,500 years ago, Buddha Sakyamuni, he started to spread the Dharma.
释迦牟尼传法的时候呢，南赡部洲所有的寿命是100岁的寿命。
So when Buddha started to give out his teaching at that time, the human life, how to say, the lifespan is about 100 years old.
那么呢，因为佛陀跟这个正法的这个加持那么呢，人们这个心里有这个善根然后呢修行的一个缘故，所以呢，我们可以保持这个长命。
So due to the blessing from Buddha and from the Dharma, also due to the kindness of the people, and so we are still fortunate to have this a similar lifespan for now.
如果没有三宝的加持的话呢，人的寿命是100年就会死1岁，所以呢，这个1000年至少10岁，10000年就基本上我们这个100岁的生命就差不多就终结了。
Without the blessing of the 3 jewels and human life, usually every 100 years, then our lifespan will decrease by one, and every 1,000 years our lifespan will decrease by 10 years. And then imagine after 10,000 years, you know, our human lifespan will actually, decrease to kind of zero, like 100 years.
所以呢，我们将来人的我们将来三宝加持没有了，将来的佛法是一个虚名之后呢，那么人们基本上就会烦恼非常的出众，然后呢，传染病，然后呢，战争等等将来会变得很多。这个时候呢，就所谓的100年少1岁，就会实现。那么呢，一直到人们的寿命到10岁的时候呢，那个时候就已经非常的糟糕了，南山不周，所以就会弥勒佛就会出现，然后才开始传法，才开始进步。
Let's imagine without the blessing of the 3 jewels, and then our human's affliction will become heavier and heavier, and then more and more sickness and more wars, and every 100 years that our age will decrease by 1, and then until human lifespan reach the age of 10. And then at this time, Maitreya, then he will appear.
释迦牟尼传法以来，基本上佛的预言是有5000年。那么呢，前2500年是可以普度众生众生可以得解脱佛法是对这个众生是有帮助的。过了2500年以后后的1000年就开始佛法的衰败，后的1500年是只有说曾经有这么的伟大的佛陀出现过人世间传法等等，所以呢，基本上就是一种佛法的一个名而已，虚名而已，所以呢，没有实际的去对众生没有直接的帮助跟解脱。
So when Buddha, when he started his teaching, he predicted that the Dharma will last for about 5,000 years. So in the first 2,500 years, the Dharma taught by Buddha, Samuni can still benefit people, and can help people to reach liberation. But then after this 2,500 years, the following 1,000 years, and then the Dharma is also getting weaker and weaker, and then in the last 500 years, maybe we only hear the names only.
所以在这个每个人都有一点想要学佛的人，有一点信仰所以呢，我讲的已经很清楚了。过了2500年是兴盛，后1000年是衰败的过程当中，所以呢，应该是时间是已经差不多没有了。那如果你讲到1000年以后，1500年是基本上是也不会有好的上师传法导引众生，所以呢，众生来讲呢也很难去想要解脱是基本上是没有机会的，所以呢，应该也不是可以懈怠懒惰的学佛方式，应该基本上是不应该的
So basically, for the Dharma practitioners, we must practice diligently, because now we still have the chance to hear about Dharma, but even Dharma is getting weaker and weaker. And so if imagine we never practice, but we wait another 1,500 years or whatever at the end, and then there's only name of the Buddha and Dharma is only left, and then at that time there won't be any qualified good teachers, and so if you want to obtain liberation, that would be impossible. So now we have to seize the moment now.
那么死亡到底是什么呢？
So what is that exactly?
死亡是血肉的身体结束这是所谓的死亡。那么呢，人的心有没有死亡呢？是没有死亡的。
So death only means our physical, this body made from flesh and blood, and only means the death of this physical body. So our mind, our consciousness has died? No.
血肉的身体叫做有为法，所以呢，它是这个有识可以看得到、摸得到，又可以觉受，这是血肉的身体。所以叫做我们讲这个人身那么呢，人的心它不是有为法它不是可以看得到的，可以摸得到，没有色彩，也没有形状心也没有眠，它是无为法，无实有。所以呢这个心是没有死亡。
So our physical body is because it's physical, so we can see it with our eyes, we can touch with our hands. So it's how to say, like a phenomenal, belongs to the phenomenal Dhamma. And then our mind, our consciousness, because we can't see it, we can't touch it, we can't even smell it, and it doesn't have any shape, any color, any essence. So it doesn't have any inherent existence. So yeah.
死亡是一个周期，那么呢，它是一个循环。
That also means a cycle.
比如说我们24小时一天一夜的角度来讲，我们比如醒过来，然后呢吃喝然后呢这些行住坐卧然后呢一直到晚上睡觉前这就是一个阶段。
So for example, in a day there are 24 hours. So from the moment when we wake up, then we start drinking, eating, and doing all the worldly doing all kinds of activities until at night when we go to bed, and this is a cycle.
睡了之后呢，就开始深睡，睡得很沉，然后呢，还没有深沉睡中没有开始，还没有做梦之前是一个阶段。
So after we fall asleep, and so there's one period from after you fall asleep before you start having dreams.
然后呢，深睡之后呢，然后呢就开始开始做梦然后一直开始做梦到梦结束，然后呢醒过来这是一个阶段。
So that's the first phase, and the second phase when then you start having dreams, and then once the dreams finish, then you woke up, and then this is the second phase.
所以梦结束，那么呢到了早上人醒过来的时候呢，然后呢又开始吃喝行住坐卧这个就是在六中有里面这三个阶段是三中有。
So again, and then once your dreams finish, you wake up, then it's morning again, and then the cycle repeats itself and starts itself again. So this cycle, actually mentioned in the 6 Fathers, and especially the first three Fathers.
比如说我们早上醒过来，然后呢吃喝开始一天行住坐卧这叫做处生中有
For example, when we wake up and we start our day, and then this is what we call the battle of living.
所以在处生中有的时候呢，就开始修持极止圣观，这个就是消除我们所谓的处生中有的 出生的这个习气。
So in the battle of living, we practice the samatha and vipassana and try to eliminate our habitual tendencies. Yeah.
那么这么在这个藏传佛教的内密里面的内序里面呢，三等持中的所谓的这个因位等持。
好像这个有点难啊。是这个内序里面因位等持是因。OK。因位等持。Anyway, it's a little bit deep, so I just try to find out if I understand correctly. So this is part of the Tibetan Buddhism, the inner tantras. It's related to the cause and 因为等持我还是不是很懂。
那我解释。好，因为等持是这藏传佛教这个修法的一个里面呢，首先这个莲花的座上开始观想这些咒语，比如说 Om 或是啊，或是 Ho 或是说哈这就是讲无方佛的咒语。
Oh, so this is related to the visualization. You visualize those the sibilants like Om, Hom, and on top of the lotus seat.
好，那么呢，这个咒语观想完之后呢，把这个咒语就是转化为这个佛的法器。
Oh, so after you visualize the sibilant, the mantra, the sibilant, and then the mantra itself will be transformed into the Dharma instrument.
然后这个佛的法器又转化为不同的这个本尊。
So this Dharma instruments will then be transformed into the different forms of deities.
好，这个就是所谓的因位等持。所以简单的讲，各位，其实我们人世间有你看黑的人、白的人，然后呢也有这除了人之外，有看到很多不同的众生，这些都是因为我们不同的业力，所以呢，这个有的人就是白的、黑的，高的、低的、矮的、中等、胖的、瘦的，开玩笑。那这些都是不同的这些因缘，就是怎么来的？这是主要是业力的关系。
So Rinpoche tried to give explanation from another perspective. He explained that, for example, we have different people, white, black, tall, short, and handsome or not handsome, but all of this due to the individual's karma. So yeah.
好，那么呢，第二就是我们比如说睡了之后就开始这个深睡，深睡，然后呢，这个深沉的睡的时候呢，这个时候呢，这个基本上是这个法性中游，
就是沉睡了之后就是法性中游。Okay, so after we fall asleep, when we are in our deep sleep, and then we are also in the state of the Dhammatta.
好，所以呢，如果这个了解这个法性，那这个时候呢，这个可以观修这个法性。
So if we understand the Dhammatta, and then we can also practice.
那么这个主要是这个净化我们心的习气。
So this practice is trying to purify our habitual tendencies of our mind.
这个在无上内序里面这个叫做真如等持。
So this is called 咱写真如等持是不是就是如来藏还是如来藏？So this is called Buddha nature, also according to the Atmic Tantras.
好，那么所谓的真如等持是本来具有的任运成就的这个究竟的智慧。
So we all have this Buddha nature, we all have this primordial wisdom.
因为呢，这个也是简单来讲的话呢，比如说我们这个究竟的实相上，了悟究竟的实相上来讲的话，必须要这个断正啊。比如说我们讲这个断烦恼障所知障，了悟如所有智，尽所有智，这就是所谓的真如等持，是可以这么理解啊。
So to be able to realize the absolute reality, we have to purify the two obscurations and 你刚刚说那个了悟那部分我没听清楚，就是断障的后面是了悟。
了悟如所有智，尽所有智。
And okay, purify two obscurations and then also obtain the how to say the innate wisdom.
我们来思路呢，那么呢，这个我们讲这个，比如说这个深睡之后呢，就开始这个人的意识就开始起来，就开始做梦啊，做梦啊，这个在这个梦幻中有里面呢，这方法就是这个修这个光明梦，
So after we fall asleep, but our consciousness, our mind is still active. So that's why we have dreams. So in the practice, in the battle of the dreaming, so we train in this illusory body.
那么呢，这个是清净也好，净化我们这个中有的习气。
Okay, and so this will help to purify the habitual tendencies of the intermediate state.
那么这个在内序里面呢，这叫做现位等持。
现位等持。Okay, it's a little bit difficult for me to translate this part because it's a bit too deep and it's called according to the inner tantra. 现位等持怎么理解的话？
就是慈悲。
就慈悲是就是
我心里面升起的慈悲。
Okay, so then we will generate this great compassion from our Buddha nature.
好，那么呢，修这个慈悲心，或是这个空心之中升起慈悲心，这就是像真如等持，就是像太阳啊；现位等持就是个光啊，然后呢，这个应位等持就是它的光芒。
好，okay, put it maybe in a simple way is it's related to the Buddha nature. Its essential nature is emptiness, but then its natural expression is clarity, and then its compassion is all pervasive. It's related to that. Just excuse me because it's quite deep, and I try my best to summarize it. I think it's
这个大家都听不太懂，没关系，这个慢慢来啊，这个听不懂是很正常的。
Gary just said, okay, everyone, we look like very confused and we don't understand what it means. He said it's normal, so don't worry about it, just be patient.
而我们每个人是不是佛呢？是佛。
So, is everyone Buddha? Yes, we are.
我们每个人都是有佛性的。
Because everyone has a Buddha nature.
每个人都是佛，可是我们并没有去认识自己的心。
Although everyone is Buddha and has this Buddha nature, but we never look into our mind.
心的本性我们没有去认识，而一旦我们没有去认识心的本性，我们就开始了轮回。
Because we never recognize the nature of our mind or the nature of our consciousness. That's why we fall into this samsara.
轮回到了现在，我们现在开始要闻法思维修行，然后慢慢去了悟心的本性。
That's why we need to listen to the Dharma and put into practice, and then we can slowly be liberated.
通过修学去了解然后自己真正信的性的时候，我们就成佛了。
So through this listening, thinking, and meditation of Dharma, then eventually we will understand, we will recognize the nature of our mind, and then we become Buddha.
所以这个叫做周期，从你不认识本性，然后开始轮回。
So this is what we also call a bigger cycle, from the samsara, from the beginning of the samsara to the end of the samsara.
直到最后认识到本性，这就是一个循环，一个非常大的循环，非常非常漫长的一个周期。
And this is a very, very long and very, very big cycle, from the beginning of the samsara until the moment we recognize the nature of the mind, and then we finish the samsara.
所以呢，这个周期有很多种，比如说一天的周期，或是一生的周期，或者从无始劫以来轮回的周期，还没有认识佛的之前，佛性之前的周期。所以这个
So the cycle, if we look at it, we can have a cycle of the day, a cycle of the night, and a cycle of the whole samsara from the beginning of time. So we have different types of the cycles.
所以这个世界的周期外系世界的周期，内系众生的周期然后呢，我们心事的这个周期，新的世界，其实都是一样的，就是一个时间的长短而已。
But actually they're all the same. It's just the difference on the time. Some is longer, some is shorter. For example, the outside universe, the cycle of the outer world, the cycle of the sentient beings, the cycle of our mind.
好，无论是无论是记住什么，有什么方式得知自己的将来迎来死亡。比如说24小时之内，这段时间之内，我们应该怎么面对死亡？应该做怎么样的一个准备
？So we have some methods that we can know if we're going to die. For example, all the signs that we can help us to understand we're going to die, for example, in 24 hours.
好，那我现在介绍给你们一个方法就是这个方法叫三想三不想。
And now there's a further technique that Jimen Rinpoche is going to teach us, and it's called the three objects we must think of, and the three objects we mustn't think of.
三想面对死亡时，你们一定要想的。
So the three objects that we must think of it means the three things we must think of when we're dying.
三不想一定不要去想的。
So the three objects that we mustn't think of, which means we shouldn't think of it when we're dying.
三想第一个发菩提心。
So for the three objects we must think of, the first one is bodhicitta.
当你确定已经即将迎来死亡的时刻24小时也好，2天也好，3天也没有关系，但最好不要太长。
So when you know death is approaching you, for example, you're going to die in 24 hours or in 48 hours or in 3 days, but not too much longer. So then you start to practice this bodhicitta.
时间太长的话呢，你在死亡的时候呢，这个菩提心它就有一点不是很有帮助，所以它离你的死亡越接近的时候是越有帮助的。
So arousing your bodhicitta, and this is a very important technique, especially when you are going to die very soon, because then it's more powerful in that way.
就要最后一次开始练习，开始做好准备面对死亡，基本上就是 就是快要死之前呢，这个还没有这个受这个死亡的苦的时候呢，这个提前3天、2天或是1天之前就要练习，这就越接近死亡是越好的。
So we should practice this around bodhicitta after you know you're going to die soon, for example in 1 or 2 or 3 days, and before you start to suffer from the pain of dying, then we practice around bodhicitta. This is very powerful.
好，这时候首先要做的是想尽一切的办法升起菩提心，就是我们比如说我们快要死的时候呢，基本上就是想办法自己就是一定要升起菩提心。平时发菩提心是一件很困难的事情。
So when death approaches us, we must try every way to arouse bodhicitta, and also in our daily life, it's actually very difficult to generate the authentic bodhicitta.
因为依靠南山不周业力之地，这个血肉的身体升起这个菩提心是很难，就像这个搬动很粗这个很粗很重的这个木头一样的困难。
Because when we are alive and in this world, because our heavy karma, and also because we are stuck in this physical body, so it's very difficult to generate authentic bodhicitta. And this is like try to move a very heavy wood, a piece of very heavy wood. Yeah.
到了这个中医面对死亡的时候呢，如果这个尝试去发菩提心，那这时就像木头这个飘在了这个水上，轻轻的就可以这个升起，就轻轻的推就可以。
So, but in our intermediate state, especially when the death is approaching, and to arouse the bodhicitta is easier. It's like moving a piece of heavy wood, but on top of the water, you just need to push a little bit, then the wood will be moved.
所以轻轻升起的这个菩提心，就能令你解脱甚至于这让你这个往生西方极乐刹土。
So this bodhicitta at our deathbed can help us to be liberated, or maybe to get a rebirth in the Amitabha Buddha land.
这是为什么呢？这是因为我们这个人死的时候这个人的八识全部融入到阿赖耶识的时候呢，这个时候呢，这个最好的一个时段所以呢，这个时候呢，活着的时候是不一样的。
Yeah, so this is different from when we are living. When we are dying, all our A consciousness they dissolve into the alaya, which is called the ground consciousness, and yeah, this is different when we are. This is different than when we are living.
好，那么呢，能够生在这个没有这个苦的的地方，就是极乐刹土无有苦的地方，就是极乐刹土。那么呢，生在这样的一个极乐刹土的时候呢，你同样在这个非常快乐的这个刹土里面这就可以还是可以为了一切众生可以发菩提心。
So even when we how to say we have the rebirth in the pure Buddha field, which is free from any suffering, but we can still continue to cultivate this bodhicitta for all the sentient beings, even when we are in the pure Buddha field.
因为在大圣的佛法的角度，你修持发心。愿菩提升起愿菩提心，菩提心修持六度连续三达升起其资粮，而得到这无上圆满的菩提果位，是需要三个大升起，这在人世间是很困难。
So according to the Mahayana Buddhism, so from the moment when we try to generate the bodhicitta, and then when we arouse the bodhicitta, and then go through the 6 transcendent perfections until we obtain the complete Buddhahood, it actually took a long, very very long time.
所以大家应该对这个大劫的一个概念，就是有80个小劫，这就是一个大劫。所以一个大的劫有成住坏空。
Yeah. So one kalpa, one big kalpa has 80 small kalpas. Can I say that? Right. And so each kalpa has 4 stages. 成住坏空. And forming and staying and destroying, and then emptiness.
好，这个就不讲了，不是那么重要啊。这个解释啊。那么呢，那么这样的3大阿僧祇劫，在西方极乐刹土来讲，人世间修行方式是很苦的。而在西方极乐刹土利益众生是快乐的修行，所以呢，3大阿僧祇劫这个在西方极乐刹土只有3天而已。
So basically, Jiva Rinpoche tried to explain with this human body on the earth, it takes a long time, to achieve the Buddhahood and then to benefit all the sentient beings. But in the pure Buddha field, like the Amitabha's Buddha field, it only needs 3 days, then you can achieve everything you need to. You can achieve everything that like on the earth. So it's a lot easier and shorter in the pure land.
好，那么呢，就在这个阿菩提心是对这个发愿就能够得无上圆满菩提果位等等。
So it's very important that we cultivate our bodhicitta.
第二个要想的是根本上师。
So the second object that we must think of is our root guru.
如果你对你的根本上师非常有信心，那你就想你的上师就好了。
So if you have absolute faith in your root guru, then you just need to think of your guru.
你现在面对死亡，你观想自己的上师位与自己的头顶上方等等无论如何尽力去观想就可以。
So when you're dying, then try to visualize your guru on the top of you, on top of your crown, and just try to do your best to visualize this image.
如果你对你的上师有信心是100%，那认真的去想这位上师就可以了，这是绝对没有问题的。
So if you have 100% faith in your teacher, so you just need to concentrically think of your teacher. 尤其是如果
你跟上师已经签约好了，面对死亡时，上师来给自己修托而上师刚好有在自己的身边时，那更是最好的。
So it's even better if you have agreement with your guru that your guru will come and practice Pora for you when you're dying, and he will stay with you when you're dying. This is even better.
上师来了，而自己有想别的，那要怎么救你呢？修Pora法都很难修了。
But if you have your guru, if you have your teacher, but you are thinking about something else, then even Pora won't be helpful for you.
在西藏很多的老人家在快要面对死亡之前，会将自己长久以来就准备好的财物 拿来供养自己最有信心的上师，请上师为自己修佛法。
So in Tibet, it's a common practice when a lot of old people they will prepare to offer all their wealth to their root guru before they die.
这些对老人他们都是非常好的过去成就者的开始与教育，他们都已经接受了。
So this is a very common practice in Tibet, and this is actually can be very beneficial for those old people.
所以这些事情这些事我们任何一个人必须要懂必须要去了解的不仅是西藏的老人，这是一个比喻我们在座每个人学佛的人，应该这些都是应该自己要懂这是因为学佛是非死亡
So this is not just for the old people in Tibet, and for everyone here, for all the people, we need to understand all these points because everyone has to face death.
如果你对自己的上师没有100%的信心，那唯一的办法就是想阿弥陀佛或者观世音菩萨除此之外呢，还有没有别的方法呢？基本上是没有的。
So if you don't have the 100% faith in your teacher, then you can also visualize Buddha Sayamuni or the Bodhisattva of the Great Compassion. This can also work.
好，第三个要想的是本尊，怎么去想自己的本尊呢？
So the third point, the third object we must think of is our deity.
自己所修的本尊要与自己的身体无二无别。
So we must visualize our personal deity actually merge with ourselves, our body.
这样的话，将是一件非常好的事情。比如说，你今天修的是阿弥陀佛，你的本尊是阿弥陀佛，那你与阿弥陀佛无二无别。
So, for example, if Amitabha is your personal deity, then you practice the visualization of Amitabha, and then at the end, you and Amitabha are the same one.
至于观想西方极乐刹土跟观想阿弥陀佛无二无别是一样的道理。
So it's the same if you can also visualize the pure land of the Amitabha. It's the same as visualized of the Amitabha itself.
以上是三想，接下来讲的是三不想。
So the birth teaching is related to the three objects that we must think of when we're dying, and now I'm going to give some more teaching on the three objects that we mustn't think of.
第一个不能去想的是亲人跟财富。
So the first item, the first object is our relatives, the people we love, the people we care, and our wealth. We mustn't think of them.
面对死亡的时候，如果你还在眷恋自己的亲人，或是还在眷恋自己的财富，那你将会很难很难顺利的度过这个死亡的过程，会死不瞑目。
Because when you're dying, but you still cling to the people you love, your relatives, you still cling to the wealth, your possession, and this will have a negative impact on your intermediate state, and you won't have a very smooth death process.
面对死亡的时候，亲人、财富这些是必须要放下的。
So when we face death, we must put down the people we love. We must put down the clinging to the people we love, to the wealth that we cling to.
放不下这些财富跟亲人的话，那基本上你就升起这个执着。
So if we cannot put down our clinging to the people we love and our possession, and then this will create an attachment.
只要升起执着的话，那烦恼就会升起。烦恼一旦升起，你就开始轮回。
So as long as there's attachment, then there will be a negative emotion, and when there's negative emotion, then samsara will start again.
有时候我在修佛法之前，做个介绍会讲，你在面对死亡的时候，就跟往生者讲，从我们的耳朵里讲。
So when Jimmy Rinpoche is practicing the Pola for his disciples, he will say the following words to the people who has just died.
放不下亲人财富这就等于给自己带来多入三个道的因素。
So our clinging
跟这个死来讲。
So Jimmy Rinpoche will say the following sentence to the dead people. He will say, "You're clinging to the people you love, to your possession, will actually be the cause for the rebirth in the lower realms."
因为对死者来讲呢，他放不下这些亲人跟财富，这样做他对他自己一点点帮助都不会有。
So by clinging to the people, to the wealth, and this will not benefit the dead people at all.
好，这些事他往生者他应该是活着的时候是可以去想的，但面对死亡的时候呢，再去想这些就不对了。
So we must contemplate on this when we are still alive, because we can't think of this when we die, when we're dead.
这个时候，所以这个时候呢，必须要放下，否则就没有办法走自己的解脱之路。
So we must learn how to let go, then we can be on the path of liberation.
而且这种情况下，上师修超度或者破瓦法效果不会很大。
So without letting go, so even your guru practice Pola for you, but that won't be of great help.
所以这个是第一个不能去想的。
So this is the first object that we mustn't think of.
第二个不能去想的是过去，或者是或者的时候呢，你造的业力是不能去想的。
So the second object that we mustn't think of is our previous and the negative actions that we do, and also the negative actions that when we do when we are alive. All this bad karma we can't think of them.
比如说杀生偷盗邪淫这类的是不善业，或者说种种的罪业。
Especially related to the 10 negative actions like killing, stealing, yeah.
这个时候呢，你是不能去后悔的。
You shouldn't feel regret about those negative actions you did.
而且这个时候也不能因为之前做的恶业再去忙着忏悔。
And you shouldn't focus on the purification of the negative action now.
这个时候是不能后悔，也不能忏悔的，因为这个时候，后悔与忏悔已经没有用了。
Because at this time, at the time of the death, purification and regression is of no use now.
时间已经来不及了，后悔与忏悔是活着的时候该去做的。
Yeah, there's no time for that when we are dying. We must do the purification when we are still alive.
比如说在座的各位后悔的时间、忏悔的时间正是时候。
For example, now is the perfect time for us to purify our sins.
而将来我们每一个人面对死亡的时候呢，再后悔或者去做忏悔，这时间上是就不对了。
So it would be too late to do the regression at the death.
所以面对死亡的时候就不能后悔，也不能再去做忏悔，因为这样会给你带来死亡的痛苦。
Because if you're doing this regression and purification when you're dying, that will cause you a lot of pain.
会死得非常痛苦，这一点大圆满的前行以及许多的其他的经典都举过许多的相关的例子。
Because thinking about all the negative actions you have done, this will cause you a lot of pain. And this is actually mentioned in the preliminary practice of the Great Profession, and also in the other sutras and in the other tantras.
其实很多人不管从生活的角度，或是我们这个学佛的角度，这都不会想到死亡。所以一旦面对死亡的时候呢，这一般的时间的角度来讲，他觉得后悔很多事情都还没有做好。那么好。
Because it's common for us to regret when death approaches us, because during in our daily life we don't usually think about death, we don't usually think about the bad things.
对于一个修行人来讲的话呢，他在这个身体还听话的时候呢，没有认真的去修行，而一旦面对死亡的时候呢，他就觉得说这个也没有学好，那个也没有学好，做什么呢？这些后悔的心升起，这是不好的。为什么呢？因为它会增加他的这个死亡的痛苦。
So yeah, especially for a lot of practitioners, when they're alive, when they have the good body and good health, but they don't practice, and when death approaches them, they start to feel very regretful, like why I didn't practice this when I'm healthy. But this is not good. We shouldn't think like that, because this kind of thoughts will create more pain when in our death.
第三个，面对死亡时不能恐惧。
So the third object that we must think of is fear.
面对死亡时，恐惧会让你心乱掉，你的心乱掉。
Because fear will just seize our heart and blind our heart.
而心一旦乱掉，上师修这个佛法修超度或者与身边开示的效果就会打折。
So with this blinded mind, with fear, and all the polar practice, and even your guru's help won't be of great assistance.
甚至于你自己将完全无法升起菩提心，无法升起对上师的信心，佛陀也想不起来了，观世音菩萨也想不起来了。
Because of this fear, then you forgot your bodhicitta, you forgot your guru, you forgot Buddha, you forgot the Buddha of great compassion, you forget everything.
之所以整个人都乱掉，那这正是因为你升起的这个恐惧的心态。
So the fear is very dangerous. It can mess up our mind.
所以面对死亡的时候，这个内心不能升起恐惧的心。
So when we face our death, we mustn't feel fearful.
这个时候，我们的心必须要稳固假如各位平日里有打坐修禅或者修大圆满，有大圆满的境界的人来讲，那如果说是认识新的自性光明的时候。
So if for people who practice a lot of the meditation, Zen meditation or great professional meditation in daily life, then they will develop a very peaceful, calm and firm mind when facing the death, and they can use this opportunity to recognize the nature of the mind.
所以这个时候自己的心静下来，安住稳固是最重要的。
So we must calm down and be relaxed with our mind.
这样，比如说上师为你修佛法时给你开示，修佛法然后呢修佛法师给你开示，他就会这个上师会告诉你，第一个光是什么，第二个光是什么，第三个光是什么，第四个光是什么。
So with the calm, peaceful mind, and when your guru is doing the program for you and giving you the guidance, your guru will say, will whisper in your ear, saying, "Okay, the first round of the light is like this. The second round of the light is like the third light is like this."
好，那么呢，这个心如果静不下来没办法安住稳固的话呢，那基本上 介绍这4个光明是没有什么效果。
So if we cannot settle our mind in its natural state, it's almost impossible to recognize those 4 types of the clear light.
那么呢，这个上师在做任何的这个讲解的时候，你就常常就可以到西方极乐刹土，或者就可以解脱这个是主要的原因，就是上师在这个开示这个4个光明这个原因。
So for the good practitioners and with the calm mind, and so when their teacher whisper the guidance to their ears, telling them try to recognize the 4 types of the luminosities, and then if they recognize them, they will be liberated. They will be liberated to the Amitabha Pure Land.
我相信在这个每个人应该学佛学很久了，学的也很多所以呢，我相信你们这个时候呢，这个可以把这个等持可以修得非常好。
So Jivan Rinpoche says that he believes that everyone here we have learned Dharma and practiced Dharma for a long time. So hopefully we can develop our concentration to develop our presence.
所以各位将来面对死亡的时候呢，心是必须要放松这个静下来，然后呢，希望有一位真正成就者可以带着你们放下一切的执着与烦恼。
So, Rinpoche hope that as practitioners we learn how to face our death. We just relax our minds and try to be natural, and then to have a qualified teacher with us to guide us through the whole death process.
所以呢，这个时候要把握机会，看能不能认识自己心的自信光明这是非常的最重要的。
So in the process of death, it's most important that if we can whether we can recognize those moments, those clear lights from the nature of our mind.
因为该来的会来，不该来的不会来。
Because if we are deemed to be liberated, then we will be able to recognize those lights. But if we are not deemed to be liberated, then we will fail to recognize those lights.
面对死亡正是修行的成果运用的关键的时候。
So actually, death is the most important moment for us to practice what we learn.
所以非常感恩大家。今天我要跟各位开示的是很重要，就是3想，3不能想。只要各位记住，其他没有记住没关系，3想3不能想，这样就可以了。
So Jivan Rinpoche says thank you for everyone's patience, and in today he's teaching the core is the 3 objects that we must think of, and the 3 objects we mustn't think of. If we forget other content, that's fine, but we must remember these 2 points are very important, very crucial.
将来有人问你们的时候，你们就告诉他们，从法印出世来的一个活佛讲了3想3不能想，讲了2个小时，这样就大家就知道你们学到了什么了。
Rinpoche is very humorous. He just say maybe then we can share, what we learned today. Incarnate Lama from the Baiyu Monastery come and teach for 2 hours on 3 objects we must think of, and 3 objects we mustn't think of. You can share that with other people. Yeah.
非常感恩大家。